We're on Fallout Episode 5. When we first started reviewing this show, I thought it was the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now I think it is the Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz?
Yes, now hear me out here. So when we first see Lucy, who is Dorothy.
Okay.
When we first see Lucy interact with Maximus, not the first time we see her, but in this episode, the first time we see him, he's stuck, and she has to help him. Like he needs an oil can, so she helps him out of there.
Oh. Is that all you got?
No, I got more.
Okay.
We have a cowardly character who doesn't want to, he doesn't want to go with his sister to find his dad. We don't, he just kind of stays in the vault.
No, I think Norm wanted to go, but she said he couldn't.
No, he said, I'm too cowardly. Even if I wanted to go, I couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
So he's cowardly lion.
Okay.
And then we got the Ghoul, who, you might think, he's got a bunch of qualities. He's sort of bad, but he's not the Wicked Witch bad. He's seeking information. He's seeking knowledge. He needs a
scarecrow?
brain. He's the scarecrow.
Okay.
And then we got Dog Meat. That's obvious. He's Toto.
Yeah.
We got Lucy's dad is. We'll save Lucy's dad for
the wizard.
Yeah, I was gonna say the wizard. We'll save that explanation for a later episode.
Yeah.
But
so Fallout is just an allegory to the Wizard of Oz.
Everything's an allegory to the Wizard of Oz if you think about it hard enough.
Yeah.
The original.
You could also do like Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah,
She's
you could
Alice,
for sure.
Yeah.
I
don't think it holds up as well, but
I think if Dog Meat was with Lucy the whole time, I think you would really get that metaphor. But since they kind of bounce around, like all the characters are there and they all have their own metaphors and stuff, but it's bounced around to different locations and stuff.
I like that comparison.
I would even say Moldaver is the Wicked Witch, even though not the Wicked Witch we might think. She has like a horde
she's
of
more
followers.
Of the Wicked.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Instead of the Wicked Witch. She's from the show, the movie The Wicked. Because don't they make her kind of like a good guy there?
Yeah, she's sort of an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Rather than like a villain. But
we don't know that yet either.
Yeah, we haven't. This is okay. If you've been following the episodes up until this point, we've kind of held back and not binged the whole thing. At episode 4, after episode 4, we just watched the rest of it.
Yeah, we watched the whole.
Come on, man.
It was so good.
It's all out,
We talked about it too. After episode 4, each episode is pretty self-contained.
Yeah.
It weaves a broader picture, but each episode is one thing and another. After that, 5 through 8, they kind of all just meld together into a flow.
I think it's Lucy and Maximus's relationship. I think that really kind of solidifies this as like this is the narrative moving forward. All these episodes get squished together, and we're having more trouble kind of like labeling what each episode is sort of supposed to be.
But yeah, on that note, welcome back. We are the Binge Warmers. I am Steven.
My name is Hopper.
And this will be Fallout Episode 5 review.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a lot about what happens in this episode and try to not get too much into episode 6, 7, 8, but it'll probably leak over a little bit. But just spoilers for that episode and for this episode and the episodes coming.
Spoilers to follow. You have been warned. Let's get into it.
I love most of all that Lucy is now like a different person. Like she's more so, she's like a Fallout protagonist at this point. She's still, kind-hearted and got her, her morals about her, how she was raised. But she's also stomping the roaches. She's willing to shoot people if she has to.
I actually saw it was like a Variety interview or IGN or something where she said they were each different levels of players in a video game in Fallout. She was fresh out of the Vault player.
Wow.
Maximus had he'd probably had like 30, 40 hours. And then the Ghoul was 100 hours in, maybe the second playthrough.
New game plus kind of deal.
Kind of thing. And I really like that comparison a lot.
We don't get a ton of the Ghoul in this episode.
No, I don't think he really shows up in this one, which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We didn't see Maximus at all.
Last we checked on him, he was...
last episode, we hadn't seen Maximus at all, I don't think so.
The last episode, we left the Ghoul on a bender.
He was having a good time.
He was having a great time.
And good for him. He was having a bad go the rest of this episode.
Yeah,
so.
He deserves a little reprieve.
For sure.
So we see Maximus decides the one time he's going to tell the truth. And he tries to tell Thaddeus that he's not Titus and all this stuff. And Thaddeus is like, oh, bruh. I'm telling on you. And Maximus is like, well, now I have to kill you. Just like that. He doesn't even try to explain the situation more.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks too because, you're in this big, bulky power armor, which you have the extra power, but, like, you see Thaddeus kind of slipping around, and he just kind of steps
and Maximus isn't that good to begin.
That's true. I mean, unfortunately, he has some moments in this episode that I'm like, oh wow, he's got it.
Yeah, which don't match up with the rest of his characters. So I don't like that we even have those moments. But we'll talk about that.
It's when he becomes good, he gets the plot enhanced vision.
Dude. He leveled up, so he added a point to his perception.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he leveled up. Yeah, after beating the Frogger, the Gulper.
Yeah, the Gulper.
He leveled up.
But he stomps on Thaddeus's foot, and we'll see that later on in like episode 6 or 7 what it looks like.
It's pretty bad.
Ugly.
He's not having a good go of it after he comes out of this.
Not at all.
And so we get
Thaddeus. He steals the fusion core.
Yes.
So then he's just motionless in the power armor, which is game accurate.
Oh yeah.
So in Fallout 4, you can't get in those unless you have a fusion core.
Oh, can you get out of them if it depowers? Or it just like shoots
I've never
of
ran out of a fusion core before, so I'm gonna assume so.
It seems like because they're powering vaults, like as we will later see, they're powering the vaults that they go into, and that's it makes me think that they have a pretty long charge.
Yeah. They don't see. That's the thing. I didn't even realize that you'll find a lot of fusion cores like in different like warehouses or hospitals and stuff, and you'll take them and you just have a bunch of fusion cores for your.
Yeah.
You go through them pretty quickly in your suit, but I think there's a perk that maybe you drain it less quickly and stuff. But
so Lucy finally she shows up to help him out. There's a bunch of rad roaches. Like
she just destroys them easily. She one shot kill on all of them.
Like that. There's music playing. There's always music fun upbeat music playing, and she's just like stomping the crud out of a rad roach, just like not giving up.
Rad roaches look scary a little bit too.
They're
I don't
good.
like them, dude.
I mean, it invoked what it needed to invoke for me.
What do you think they taste like?
If you're following along with our Ben 10 stuff, we're going to eat a bunch of... since we hit 1,000 subscribers, by the way, thank you guys for subscribing to us. We're going to eat a bunch of bugs in honor of Grandpa Max and his bug mostly diet.
I am not looking forward to that. I'm going to let you know that
I've got them ordered. They're in the mail. Granted, they're bugs, so they're specialty food. They'll probably come in a little bit... after they were supposed to. It's going to take a minute to get
there. So stay tuned on the channel for that. We'll have a video of that coming out.
And we'll tell you what the rad roaches take. We're going to mutate and radiate a big...
No, we're not.
We're not doing that.
We'll put them in the microwave.
They might blow up like a peep or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how they react in the microwave.
But yeah, so she kills the rad roaches, and then she has, she's debating. She literally says, like, you may be a nice guy, but I've been fucked over too many times. I don't want to let you out of that suit.
Yeah, which that's fair. Even though
so fair.
She saw him save her specifically in Philly because he kind of blocks the bullets and stuff. But I don't think I would trust him either. Frankly, if you just saw a dude in this kind of compromised position in the wasteland,
I would just leave him
because it's the wasteland. You can't really trust anybody.
Yeah, but she has to because she finds out she has rad poisoning.
Yeah,
she's like throwing up this weird consistency throw up. It's so gross looking.
I'm assuming it's from the water she drank in the last.
Oh,
episode.
for sure.
Yeah.
But he essentially says like, if you don't let me out, you're about to pass out, and then we're both gonna get killed by rad roaches. You have to let me out. So she lets him out, and she passes out right in front of him. So he ends up like curing her and stuff. But yeah, so
I'm glad that they can kind of trust each other. I mean, they're both. I think after seeing enough of these episodes, we both know they're not bad people.
Yeah.
Like especially since they have each other to kind of lean on now. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was another. I didn't mention that at the front, but she lets him out of the suit. He finds love. He finds a heart.
The heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, it's coming together.
Yeah, it's a good metaphor. I like
Fallout 4. This is the title. Fallout 4 is the Wizard of Oz.
Well, it's just Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout is the... Oh, yeah, Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm thinking about your birthday stream.
Yeah, so she basically makes a deal with him. Oh, because he lies. Again, why not just tell the truth? It hurts no one for him to tell her the truth, at least.
She doesn't even know, and I guess he wouldn't know that she doesn't know.
Yeah.
But, like, still, just give her your name and say you're a knight. I
mean,
you'd be lying either way. But.
So he goes, no, I'm Knight Titus. I'm a pretty big deal kind of thing. And she's like, oh, well, if you're a big deal, we can get the head together. I know that's what you're looking for. No one else is looking for pretty much anything else around here. And then when I do that, you help me rescue my dad. And he's like, okay, fine. But why lie about it? Explain your situation. She'll still probably agree to help you.
It's because he just told the truth to Thaddeus, rather.
Yeah.
And Thaddeus was like, okay, well, screw you. I'm taking the head. I'm leaving. So he's not able to give that up yet. He's got this extra level of vulnerability now to him.
Thaddeus is a punk-ass bitch.
I know, but he thought he could trust him because he saved his life. And they had this whole talk about how,
I would have trusted him.
No, yeah, I would have been right there along with him.
And then Thaddeus, I would have punched him in the head.
Would have stomped on his dang foot, his dang tootsie. You know what I'm saying?
Dingling.
Would have stomped on his dangling.
Yeah. No, Thaddeus. We'll see some stuff that happens to Thaddeus later. Don't you worry. It's pretty funny.
But yeah, I like that we go back to Vault 31 in this. I wasn't super excited going into the vaults back again, but once there's like this whole election kind of thing proposed.
Turns out Betty's running for election now.
Yeah, we were kind of confused if she was running for election or not because we saw posters for the other guys. But I think that even highlights our issue because she's from Vault 31.
Yep.
And
they have a saying.
Yeah.
When you're feeling glum, vote 31 or something like that.
I like it. Didn't Chet say something? He's like, well, they got the saying, so that's probably why they won.
Yeah.
Norm's like, what are you talking about? Saying?
He goes, it's hard to argue, It's a good saying.
Every year for the, as far back as it goes?
Yeah. It's stupid.
So yeah, we get.
I love. There's an old man with a mustache, and he's just like.
My favorite part of this episode.
I'm voting for Betty. He's just. He even tells the other guy later. He goes,
"Yeah,
I voted for Betty."
He's in line above, like in front of the guy who's running, and then he's like keeps like turning his head back around, like, "Hey man, I'm so sorry." But, just in these times when you want someone with experience.
Yeah,
she's already been overseer once, so like
maybe I'm kind of leaning her way. He's like, "It's okay, it's all you go in the booth, no one knows, And he's By the third time he turns around, he just goes, "I'm voting for Betty," and he goes, "I figured."
And then Reg, that character, he comes back we see him go into the thing to vote, and he's like, "Who am I kidding?" And he votes for Betty too.
Apparently, that saying is just brainwashed them. You know what I mean? Because he felt glum from the mustache guy, and then he goes, "You know what? When you're feeling glum, vote 31."
31. That's really funny.
That is. Oh man, but I love it because they perfectly capture what a vault dweller is because they're so just naive in this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think they were kind of designed that way.
Yes,
we'll figure out later a little bit more about that. But they sort of, I mean, when we're in this type of captivity where you just kind of have to trust everyone around you and you all kind of have to pull your own weight and everything. I think you do kind of fall into this, almost like brainwash. Because, like, I think the going up to the surface really opens your eyes to what is actually happening in the world.
And you become disenfranchised.
Yes, and I think that's they don't really see that yet. Like, they're
Lucy's
sort of
getting the full frontal of it.
Oh yeah, full frontal.
Yeah, the wasteland is flashing and bearing all to her right now.
Which is sort of Dorothy's arc in Wizard of Oz too. I won't continue too much more with this. And then so Norm like breaks into. Well, I don't think he breaks in, but he goes to the computer and he figures out like all the past overseers have been from Vault 31. I think at the end of this they say that some of the people are going to go to 32.
Yeah. Well, no, they go into 32 in this episode.
Yeah, but at the end of this episode, I'm pretty sure she's like, some people will go to 31, or some people will stay in 33, and some will go to 32.
Yeah, and then they go in and they see how much it's changed.
They don't move in this episode, but they get told, I think, at the end of
this. But they still see that it's changed in this episode.
Yes. Yeah. But I don't even think they get told in so. I think they just learn that some people are going to go to 32.
Yeah.
Like at the very end of the episode.
Yeah, because she's like, let's come with me. We're going to learn about the future kind of thing.
Yeah. How would you feel if you had to go back to 32?
Honestly, I don't think I would go. When I went in there, if I was Chet or Norm, I'd be terrified because I know what happened. Because, guys, they went back. Betty takes them in there, and the whole vault's just cleaned up. Like no dead bodies, no bloody writing on the wall.
Norm even says, he's like, "Oh, you did a good job cleaning this up."
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, it was awful what those dang people did to us."
What makes me what I'm wondering though is how did they find out, and why did that truth make them all kill themselves?
That's a good question. I guess
they don't actually we've watched the whole show. They don't ever explain why they killed themselves. Who cleaned it all up?
It must have been the people from 31 because there's a couple people from 31. No. There's like Steph is from 31.
Well, we know Steph and Betty. I don't think anyone else.
Well, no, I could assume maybe one or two other people because they probably need helpers to kind of figure out
maybe.
But it still doesn't change the fact that they're just so manipulative. Like everyone from 31 is just like. Even Steph, I liked Steph. I liked her before the weird.
Now she's bat crazy. Her Bert Chet thing going on was just weird.
I liked her before all that stuff happened. Then I'm like, what is going on here? And then they just like, if I was Chet, I'd be like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
I'm feeding into this now.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't.
I think Chet's just a horny dog. You know what I mean?
He's like, let me pretend you're my cousin.
He's like, that eye patch really does it for me.
You know what, dude? Like, the eye patch kind of does it for me. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm loving this mystery we're getting with the vault.
I am too. And it was this episode. It took this episode for me to be like, oh, something really is going on here, and it's not something that like, it's not just something with 32. Like 31's also involved.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like this. They're not telling us everything. Something weird's going on with the overseers. Like it's kind of information control at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we get like all the stuff on the surface too. We get Shady Sands.
Yeah. So we let's pan back to Lucy and Maximus. Lucy gets another harsh reality when they're walking, because before that she's talking to Maximus and we get a little confused.
They're having a good old time, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, like the bombs dropped. I need information from the last 200, from the bombs dropping to the 200 years to now. And Maximus goes, the bombs dropped when I was a kid. And she was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Turns out he was in Shady Sands when Shady Sands got obliterated.
Yeah. Also, a neat little detail.
We don't know this at the time.
No, yeah, but a neat little production detail. The kid's got blood on his chin, and you pay him back to Maximus like as an adult. He's got the scar.
Yeah, I saw that.
It reminded me of like Indiana Jones and the what's the one with the cup?
Yeah, the Last Crusade.
Last Crusade, thank you. It's like you see Indiana Jones whip himself with the whip, and that's how he gets the Harrison Ford's car.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so cool. They kind of have this little detail to explain what I don't need like an explanation.
You didn't need it, but it's nice to see it.
It is very nice to see. I appreciate
the
that.
attention to detail. We respect it
For sure.
So she's already a little confused by that, and then she sees they go on this bridge, and Maximus is like, "Give me your gun." First of all, Maximus, you're not nearly as good a shot as Lucy.
I know. I was thinking that too. Like Lucy's an expert marksman, but she doesn't have the ruthlessness
or the
required.
perception.
Ooh, good point. Good
See
point.
that?
Good point.
That's special. It's
That
a
is
P in
special.
special. So so he's like, "Give me your gun. We're gonna kill him." I'm like, no, we can just. And they're doing the same thing. What's going on over there? What are you doing? And she's like, "How about we all just hold our hands up and walk by each other?"
He's like, y'all got weapons? We don't got weapons.
Yeah. I love Maximus this whole time. This was a very funny part for Maximus.
Because he knows. He's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Fishy.
Yeah.
Like, because they're all just stopped and they just look at each other from 50 yards, however far it is.
So then they're going across, and it looks like what Lucy's saying is going to be true.
Yeah, Lucy's like, put your hands up and then, just walk slowly. And they kind of pass each other and then they get this moment.
Mm-hmm. And Maximus is like, so he grabs the gun. The most amazing shooting we've seen from Maximus.
Yeah.
2 shots, kills them both.
Granted, he does get hit by a tooth.
Yeah.
They're shooting teeth at him.
Yeah, they're fiends.
Fiends, because they eat human
Yeah, they eat
beings.
No, I don't think the beings part. It's just they eat humans. Des, I hadn't. They were like, oh, fiends, and Des was like, what's a fiend? I was like, I can't remember. And then they said they eat humans. I said, oh, you know what? Yeah, yeah, I do remember.
Are they essentially just people that eat humans?
Yeah, they just eat humans, so they're called fiends.
That makes sense.
But I remember when I first learned about them, I got them confused with ghouls all the time because I didn't understand.
Same sort
I was
of
just like,
general,
ghouls, fiends? What's going on here? But yeah, so Lucy again is just like, why can't everyone just be nice? She goes, I hate it here. So then they get to Shady Springs.
Yeah, you do see like this big crater where it used to be, the town used to be.
Yeah, and that's where we learned Maximus was at when he was a kid, and that's where the Brotherhood of Steel rescued him and stuff. But this rocks Lucy to her core because she's like, wait, you had a working government, which was the NCR. You had a population of like 34,000 people in this whole town.
This was their reclamation day, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, no, we're supposed to do that. That's our reclamation day.
That's our whole thing. That's all we care about, yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I literally have sex with my husband I've never met before within 10 minutes of getting married.
Yeah.
And she realizes that the world moved on without them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just goes against everything she's been raised to believe, and it really cracks her a little bit. You know what I mean?
But it is. I mean, it's nice to see these kind of character defining moments too, because this is part of the spiral that ends up putting her at where she's at in the finale, at the very end of the finale. So this is all leading up to that one spot.
What a great finale too.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it, and we'll definitely talk about it. But dude, this whole show, and it all I think it all wraps together like really
perfectly, like a perfect ribbon on top kind of thing.
Like clicking your heels together, baby.
Yeah. Well, shut up. But yeah, so she does not like that, and she finds out of the bomb dropped again. She's like, "What? Y'all drop more bombs?" And he was like, "Yeah. Why do we ever do it? People want power, kind of thing."
It's always like these factions are warring with each other. It's like always it's always 2 top factions, and they wipe each other out, and then 2 other factions come up.
It's just human nature kind of thing. Which
War
is
never changes.
They said that, and like,
I know, I got goosebumps.
Yeah, they said I looked at Des. I did the whole sword check. I was like, oh, they did the thing. Oh. And I did that, and she goes, "What are you doing right now?" I was like, "It's the thing. They did the thing, you know." Did they say it twice? Like, they say it twice. Both times I said, "Oh." They said it again.
I didn't play the games, but I know that quote. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
Anyway.
So she finds that out, and she's just like, damn. But we're starting to notice his wound isn't healing like it was supposed to.
Yeah, because it's infected with a
because it was a
tooth.
Yeah. So she's like looking at it. She's like, this is not good. You know what I mean? So she like tourniquets it.
Which looks painful, by the way, when she does it.
Yeah, and he's just like,
it's kind of wincing.
Yeah, but so they keep on walking, and they find a hospital. And she's like, I'm going to go in. He's like, you can't just go into a hospital. You know
I love that hesitation because he knows. He's like, there's probably,
you see any well-off building, someone else has already seen that well-off building and has probably laid claim to it. You know what I mean? There's booby traps. You go into Fallout 4. I was playing it the other day on our stream, and I'll be streaming more of it, guys. So stay tuned if you haven't already came into the streams. But there'll be like booby traps. You walk over a wire, there's a shotgun, and it'll just shoot you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the craziest booby traps you can think of. They're there. You know what I mean? They drop these like mines on you. There'll be mines on the ground kind of thing. Like he knows, don't go in that hospital. It looks a little too nice.
But Lucy's like, well, you're going to die either way. So we got to get you that medicine.
So she goes in and it pans out to the sky. And you see on the ground the Vault-Tec symbol by the hospital. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? What is Vault-Tec? Vault-Tec was in everything, dude.
Oh yeah,
they really were just a crazy corporation.
I mean, they must have been like an Amazon. Like they owned everything, probably.
Yeah, it's crazy. We'll talk about how like these big corporations came into power in a couple episodes, guys. Yeah. Stay tuned for that. But it is crazy to see like the influence that these companies had over the world. You know what I mean? And like they influenced everything.
We end Lucy and Maximus' story kind of on the note of them kind of getting. They fall down. We see them fall down.
Yeah, so he goes in after her. He can't find her. And so he goes in this door, and this trap chute just drops under him. So they wake up, and he wakes up, and she wakes up first and sees some stuff. He wakes up and comes in, and he's like, Lucy, what's going on? She couldn't be happier. She's like, oh, my God, we're with my people. Yeah. We're in a vault. This is awesome. But everyone who's watching, who knows anything about Fallout, knows vaults are not good. You do not want to be in a vault.
Well, it's so funny. We get constant whiplash with this vault because it's like, oh, it's such a nice place to be. Everything's great here. And then it's like, what the hell is happening here? This is really odd and weird. And then it keeps balancing back out between Maximus's perspective and Lucy's perspective.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more in our next review.
Yeah, because we get some history of Vault 4 from both the Ghoul's point of view and we get it from the actual vault itself. And there's some crazy shit going on in that vault. Yes. Honestly, still more tame than some of the other vaults. Which is just wild.
Honestly, I mean, comparatively, I mean, it's still like Vault 4 is wild, but I think Vault 33 has got some crazy crap going on too.
Dude, just because of the massive conspiracy, they are ground zero for this post-apocalyptic world.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Which we'll explain later, obviously. Yeah, but yeah,
I think that's about it. And we don't obviously, we don't get like a super neat resolution like the Wizard of Oz, but this episode has like a it's a good cliffhanger in it. I think all the episodes pretty much have like they push you to kind of continue to watch.
Yeah, and like we said, these next few episodes are kind of going to meld together. So they may be a little bit shorter episodes just because they kind of build on each other. There's not as much to expound, and we've already gotten most of our character.
And like we said, we've watched the whole thing, so we can't really speculate too much on
because we already know. Yeah. Which it sucked. I wanted us to go episode by episode and record, but at the same time, I couldn't put it down.
Well, it was,
and my girlfriend was going to kill me if I didn't binge anymore. You know what I mean?
I'm glad we ended up getting as far as we did without binging it. So, but we're the binge warmers. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what you watch us for.
And that's our fault. That's our human condition.
But we love it. So yeah, stay tuned. We will have another episode out on Friday, which will be covering episode 6. So
if you want to watch more Fallout episodes, you can click right over here towards me. And if you want to watch another full-length episode by episode review of a show, we got Percy Jackson over there by Steven. Here in the middle here, you can subscribe to the Binge Warmers, where we will keep you up to date on every episode of Fallout until we finish it. We're doing 2 episodes a week until, I guess we'll only get 2 more weeks of this. So
yeah, it'll be this week and next week.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Yep. Bye.